Suzy Lamplugh was born May 3rd, 1961 in Cheltenham, England. Before becoming an estate agent, she'd been a beautician on the QE2. At 12:40 p.m. on the 28th of July 1986, Suzy left her office at Sturgis & Sons, located at 654 Fulham Road, taking her house and car keys and a purse with £15 and credit cards, but leaving behind her handbag. 10 minutes later, she was seen outside an empty property at 37 Shorrolds Road, which had only been on the market for 1 week. At 1 p.m, she was joined by a man, presumably the Mr. Kipper she had written in her diary, and minutes later they were seen walking away from the house. Her office diary recorded the details of the appointment as 12:45 Mr. Kipper, 37 Shorrolds OS. The OS means outside the property. Suzy's white Ford Fiesta was found on the night of the 28th of July outside a property for sale in Stevenage Road, Fulham, which is about half a mile away. The handbrake was off and the car key was missing. Suzy's purse was found in the car. Police suggested that a black, left-hand drive BMW vehicle may have been involved, because of an eyewitness account of a car of that description seen at the same location as Suzy's car in Stevenage Road. Following Suzy's disappearance, police tested the DNA of 800 unidentified bodies and skeletal remains that matched her description. Suzy was officially declared dead at her parents' behest exactly 7 years after her 1986 disappearance. On the 27th of July 1993, she was presumed to have been murdered. In November 2002, it was reported that convicted rapist and murderer John Cannon could have killed Lamplugh. He was released from a prison hostel only days before she went missing, and it was claimed that his nickname in prison was Kipper. That month, Scotland Yard held a press conference at which officers named Cannon as the person they believed to have murdered Suzy. Cannon denied any involvement. In April 2001, a previous girlfriend of Cannon, Gilly Page, told police that he had suggested Suzy's body was buried at Norton Barracks, a former military base in Worcestershire. However, in December 2002, one of Cannon's fellow prisoners told police that Cannon had buried Lamplugh under the patio of his mother's house in Sutton Coldfield in the West Midlands. In 1982, Suzy had worked as a beautician on the ocean liner Queen Elizabeth II. At the time, Stephen Wright, who was convicted in February 2008 of the murders of 5 women in Ipswich, was working as a steward on the QE2. In 2008, the Metropolitan Police investigated whether Wright was connected with Lamplugh's disappearance, but this was not a strong line of inquiry, and a senior Met police officer described the link as speculative. Reinvestigations of the case in the 2000s established that John Cannon was the prime suspect. Cannon was originally interviewed by police over her disappearance in 1988, 89 and 1990. Further interviews were carried out with Cannon during the reinvestigation in the early 2000s. Cannon bears a striking resemblance to the photo fits of the man seen with Suzy on the day she vanished. Cannon's nickname in prison was also Mr. Kipper, due to his preference for wearing Kipper-style broad ties. Cannon kidnapped and murdered 29-year-old Shirley Banks 15 months after Lamplugh's disappearance, and when he was arrested for this offence, Banks' car was discovered hidden and repainted in his garage with a false number plate affixed, reading SLP 386. Police believed this number plate could refer to Suzy Lamplugh. SLP, and 1986 the year of her murder. Alternatively, police believed it could also be coordinates on a map, as this would give a location very close to Norton Barracks, which was a location a former girlfriend of Cannon told police he had joked about being the place where Lamplugh was buried, although she later withdrew this claim. Cannon claimed that he had bought the car off a Bristol businessman who was responsible for the murders of Shirley Banks, Suzy Lamplugh, as well as another girl, and that this man was in a lot of trouble. Cannon himself was known for masquerading as a Bristol businessman. When asked if this man was with him, Cannon replied yes, but then immediately recanted and ended the interview. During the reinvestigation in the early 2000s, a mass of circumstantial evidence was uncovered that pointed to Cannon. Cannon had been released from an open prison 3 days before Lamplugh vanished, and the prison he was released from was 3 miles from the estate agent office Lamplugh worked in. In the time leading up to the disappearance, it was later disclosed that Lamplugh had a new boyfriend from the Bristol area, to which Cannon later moved and where his family were from, and Lamplugh had told a relative shortly before she vanished that she was concerned about this man and that she was getting scared of him. Despite being in prison in the borough of Hammersmith and Fulham before the disappearance, Cannon denied ever having been to Fulham, where Lamplugh vanished from. Police disproved this, as he was known to have had work experience in the area at the time while on day release from the open prison. Witnesses came forward to tell police that they had seen a man and woman resembling Lamplugh and Cannon having an argument in a car on the day of the disappearance, and that car was a dark-coloured left-hand BMW. This was significant as Cannon owned a dark-coloured left-hand drive BMW, which he used to commit crimes with a fellow inmate. Cannon had also shown up uninvited to a house that was for sale in Fulham days before Suzy was last seen, believing that the young female occupant was alone in the house, and started acting strangely until the woman's husband appeared, causing Cannon to quickly leave. Witnesses also placed Cannon looking into Suzy's estate agent's window the day before she went missing. Cannon did not have an alibi for the days after leaving prison, and conveniently does not recall where he was, despite having an impeccable memory of other events at the time. In August 2010, police began searching a field off the B4084 about 3 miles from the former Norton Barracks in Worcestershire, where a search had previously been carried out in December 2000 and February 2001. The 2010 search proved unsuccessful, and Lamplugh's remains were not found. In late October 2018, police began searching the former house of Cannon's mother in Sutton Coldfield, the same property that was searched in 2002. They dismantled the garage and began removing its concrete floor, whilst also carrying out a search of the back garden. On November the 12th, 2018, police announced that the search of the property had ended and no evidence had been found. The Crown Prosecution Service agreed that the police reinvestigation in the early 2000s had been excellent and thorough, but ultimately decided that there was insufficient evidence to charge Cannon with the murder of Suzy Lamplugh. The police so strongly felt Cannon was responsible, however, that they announced in a press conference in November 2002, in an extremely rare move, that they believed Cannon was responsible. While in prison, Cannon told a psychiatrist that he might well reveal all about Suzy Lamplugh when his mother died. He will be eligible for parole in 2022.